So this is presentation 2. So this is looking at topic 2 from Econ 3, and the title of this is Objectives of Firms. In topic 1 we were looking at business cost curves. Before we start trying to think about what a business wants to achieve, we've got to look at their revenues. So in other words, this is the money they generate from sales. A business works out their revenue by looking at the price they charge for a product times by the quantity that they sell. That will tell them their total revenue. So very quickly, if you have a business which sells a product for, let's say, £10, and they sell 20 products, their total revenue would be 200. So that's very quickly what total revenue is. I want to introduce here as well 2 other types of revenue. We've got AR, which stands for average revenue, and we've got MR, which stands for marginal revenue. Average revenue is the average money generated for each product the business sells, and we'll look at a numerical example of this in a second. MR, or marginal revenue, is the addition to total revenue of selling one more product. And let's take our numerical example then. Let's imagine we have a business that sells either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 different products. From this we can tell what the total revenue would be, what the average revenue would be, and what the marginal revenue would be. So let's imagine this business sells every single product for £1 each. If they sell 1 product at £1 each, clearly their total revenue will be 1. If they sell 2 for £1 each, total revenue 2. 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here. So the 5 one will come from 5 products at £1 each, comes to £5. We want to know now the average revenue. This is generated, we calculate this by looking at total revenue divided by the quantity sold. It gives us the average selling price for each product that the business sells. So if we look at quantity 1, total revenue 1, they've sold 1 product, the average revenue is 1. For the next one, total revenue 2, they've sold 2 products, average revenue 1. And what you've probably worked out now is we'll have 1 here, here and here. Every product sold is £1 each, so the average revenue is £1. Marginal revenue is the addition to total revenue of producing 1 more unit of output. So for our business here, MR will be 1. When they sold 0 products, the total revenue was 0. They sell 1 product, total revenue becomes 1. So addition 2 is 1. When they go from 1 unit of output to 2, again, marginal revenue is 1. Total revenue is increased by 1. 2 to 3, it's gone up by a further 1. 3 to 4, another 1. 4 to 5, another 1. This is for a business that sells every single product for the same price. If we were to draw this curve, it would look like this. So quantity on the horizontal axis, and this time revenues on the vertical axis. For this business, we know that every single product has been sold for the same price. Let's just call this P1. In our example, it was 1. This line is therefore the average revenue line, because every single product has been sold for this price. It's also the marginal revenue line. This curve is also our demand line. That is because every single product the business sold was for P1, and the example being 1. Now what we want to know is how many products will the business decide to make. And what we're going to introduce now, some from the last topic, is our marginal cost curve. This curve is also our supply line to a certain extent anyway. And remember what this line shows is economies of scale, so average cost starting to fall, then eventually diseconomies of scale, average costs starting to increase. Now what we want to know is how will our business decide how many products to make. We go for the point where MC equals MR. Let's just label this Q1. And what we've got from this is a business will make the most profit, so they will profit maximize when MC is equal to MR. Let's explain very quickly why that's the case. To the left of Q1, we can see that the selling price of the product is at P1, but the cost of making it is a lot lower than P1. So that means when they sold this product, let's just put a star here, we can see the business made this much money on that product. That means they're making a profit there. When they move here, again, the selling price is higher than what it's cost to make it, so the addition to total revenue has gone up more than the addition to total costs. Next one. Okay, so we see the gap shrinking, but the business is still happy because the marginal cost is lower than the marginal revenue. The business is happy. At Q1, the addition to total revenue, or our marginal revenue, is equal to marginal cost, the addition to total cost. So at that point there, the business is getting back what they paid for the product. They'll produce it because it's actually increasing their output and it will make them become a bigger business. But to the right of this point, let's see what's happening now. This time, our costs are way up here when we produce this output. But now, our cost of production of this unit of output is higher than what we get back for it. So the business is actually making a loss here. So that means to the left of this point, the business is making more and more profit with each unit of output sold. To the right of this point, we can see the costs of production are outstripping the revenue that product generates. So if we wanted the business to produce more, the price would have to go up for them to make profit maximize at a bigger revenue level. I want to introduce two more concepts while we're on this small section of this topic. I want to introduce what we call normal profit and what we call supernormal profit. Normal profit is when the profit earned by a business is at least equal to the opportunity cost. So for example, a business might make £300 million profit. That might sound a lot to you and me, and it is a lot of money, of course it is. But if the business could have invested that money elsewhere and earned £301 million, then the money would have gone elsewhere and they'd have made £301 million profit. So what we're trying to get across here is normal profit is when the business will earn just enough profit to keep them in that particular industry. In our example here, if they'd earn £300 million profit doing what they're doing, but if they could earn £301 million somewhere else, they will shift to something else. If they can only earn £299 million doing something else, they'll stay in this industry. That's normal profit. Supernormal profit is profit over normal profit. So if in our example our business now earns £500 million profit, and the next best alternative or the opportunity cost will only avert them £300 million profit, they're earning £200 million supernormal profit.